Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, be sure to follow or subscribe no matter where you're listening. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. Gentlemen, you might have seen a housefly or maybe even a donkey fly, but what did you think of Superfly?
I love that.
Fucking Duke of New York, #1, Compton cowboy. When this movie came on, Eric, I really hoped it was the movie where that fucking pimp Sparta kicks the old lady. I was disappointed it wasn't, but I was also enjoying the movie.
To me, this is basically The Godfather, but set in the world of Welcome Back, Kotter, 1970s Harlem. That's what we have in store for you today.
Man, I'm glad we're all on the same page. This movie is a bit of a treat. Now, I just have to put on the table that they tried really hard. The passion was on the screen, but man, thank goodness it sparked an entire genre.
Like, I don't necessarily think it's fair to talk about the shortcomings in their talent. Yes, they do have shortcomings in their talent. There are a lot of actors who could have done a better job with a second take, but we have to remember that this is a very low-budget movie in the 1970s compared to what, like, major market films were doing. So, you know, good on them for doing what they could.
Right, and let me reframe that, like, I don't hate this movie whatsoever. I think this is incredibly charming, and I hold nothing against the filmmakers. But we do kind of have to bring up that, like, well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of the ADR was just, like, dialogue we just heard.
100% no one's mouth is moving and just shit is being said.
In the 70s, what are you gonna do? It's in Technicolor, baby.
You're right. Like, I'm giving it a hard time, but to be honest, I'm just getting it off my chest because I'm going to be nothing but positive from here on out. I promise.
The lie detector determined that was a lie.
So, you know what's a big positive we can start out on? The soundtrack.
Let me grab my bass guitar right now. Goodness.
Get in there.
Doom. I don't know. Look at Yeah, the Curtis Mayfield wrote a soundtrack album for this movie. Not to shit on the movie again, but if that album didn't exist, I wouldn't have any clue this movie existed.
To that point, Eric, I'll say this. It's a low-budget film with a Hollywood blockbuster soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
Damn it, I don't want to throw this movie under the bus more than I already have.
Ah, do what you need to do.
But when the soundtrack is playing, the quality is kind of juggled a bit, you know? Because you have the studio quality, fresh-sounding 50-year-old recording, and then I just watched a dude punch a dude in like 4 cuts.
And it's a tornado of cuts. Good lord.
The suck zone.
The dude spins in a circle like to get the different angle, but it's also part of the charm because, man, watching some of those kung fu kicks is hilarious.
So this movie takes place in early 1970s New York. I think that's one of the things I like the most about this movie is just like it's not shy to show its setting. Like movies in this period often use like this part of New York as just like the fucking demilitarized zone, just disrespecting it both visually and probably story-wise. But in this movie, man, they really harness this fucking beat down part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed, dude. That gritty New York street energy, holy shit. It looks gross. It was gross. It looks like they're shooting on the fly half the time, which is super neat. I really enjoyed that we're introduced to Priest, basically like a Hulk Hogan cokehead equivalent. So maybe just Hulk Hogan, you know, poking bitches are his game. But he gets jumped by these 2 crackheads. He chases them down in almost like a long cut. And I really enjoy the fact that the Priest actor leaps in a single bound a 5-foot fence. He fucking it. No hands, just straight fucking jumps that shit. Incredible.
Yeah, he takes that leap in a single bound and he eats it too. Then he realizes he has to climb a whole ladder after that dude. It's great.
Ron O'Neal, he is the titular Superfly. I just assume he's supposed to be Superfly, right? That's what I've assumed my whole life.
Yeah. Even if it's not said like, you know, a person's name like Shaft or Black Dynamite, he is default Superfly.
You guys, I want to say something a little controversial here. Maybe not as controversial as what I've got coming a little bit later, but he didn't really seem all that Superfly to me. Like, his style was awesome. He's got a really good aesthetic. He's got those really cool sideburns, but like, he kind of comes off as a little bitch the whole time to me. What about you guys?
I did not get that vibe whatsoever. This dude has like uber swagger the entire time you see him. He's brooding. He can't let his bitches in. He's got friends, but man, he'll fuck his friends up. Like, you better have his money tonight.
I get both sides. I guess I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I didn't really see anything that made him weak or a bitch or anything, but he didn't seem quite powerful. He was just kind of like hard. You know, he's just a hard dude beating the shit out of his buddies for some coke, as you do.
Think of it this way. We had Priest, who had started out with 12 guys. Nothing serious. Low-time dealer. He's now got a family of up to 50. He's got to keep his bitches and his fucking dealers in check. These are also his boys, the same dudes he came up with. Eddie is his main man. He's looking to get out when they get that 1 milli. He's got a plan. He's got a goal. And he ain't trying to have nobody fuck it up. He ain't got to be a hard ass. He ain't got to be a killer. Shit, he even says that later in the movie. I don't want to kill nobody. He's like, I want to get the fuck out before I gotta kill someone or someone kills me. I just want to get the fuck out of here. His best line is, I want to take this money and buy some time that ain't all fucked up with shit that I gotta do.
I get that, and I respect that. I understand that mindset 100%. I get it. But to me, okay, this is a mid-level drug dealer. He's not on the ground floor, but he's not, up at the top yet. He is trying to jump ahead a little bit. He's trying to do more in the next 4 months than he would do in the next year or two or whatever. He's trying to make $1 million so he can just say goodbye to everyone that's in his life right now and just start anew. Get out of the cocaine game and just... He's trying to do that, but he's trying to jump over guys that are above him to do that. And you can't fucking do that. I don't sell drugs, and I know that.
Okay, it's super rude to skip in the pretzel line, but hear me out. It's 1972. This guy's been pimping since it was easy. He's done. He wants out.
Is he pimping hoes nationwide? Or does he just have hoes in different area codes?
I think his buddy does. The guy that he gets the coke from or whatever. Like the old guy who's trying to retire. Because he walks up, he's like, yeah, I just got 20 grand. Let's just get out of here.
Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, that's another thing. He goes to his buddy who has gotten out. He's well off at this point, but living, under the radar as a chef. He's cool. He's living that good life. But this motherfucker's trying to drag him back in, trying to get him to sell him, 4 pounds or 4 kilos of cocaine?
13.
13. Okay. He's got a good life. There's no reason to drag him into this, get him killed. What are you doing?
It's called cocaine, and you don't want no part of this shit.
He's got to get his boy to cut him the deal. Scatter knows that being Chef Boyardee is all he's got, and it didn't get him nowhere. He ain't got no time left. You know what I mean?
What, just you're old anyway, so you might as well be dead?
I mean, he gonna die anyways. It's a foregone conclusion. They knew how the game works. Scatter knew what was up.
I mean, true, but we can't pick at this too much because I just realized that character had given Priest a lot of help, and he's since retired, and his whole spiel was I can't help you now, you dumbass. I'm done. But he comes back in the last third of the movie hey, I'm back to help. Oh, shit, I guess I gotta run away now. Should have come back after all.
It was just, there was the apprehension there, and then once the shit kind of hit the fan, there was all right, he's got to do it.
It all starts whenever Freddy gets busted. Freddy has to rat because he's getting beat on. Unbeknownst to him, the cops doing the busting are crooked. They're the ones actually running the drug racket. They heard that somebody's looking for 13 keys. That's fucking money, okay?
Right.
Scatter, he's been playing it smart, moving a key here, a key there, nothing special. Staying off the radar, making the money, but not acting anything special. But if Priest can come in here and flip 13 keys in 3 months, shit, then they don't give a fuck about Scatter. So in his getting out, he accidentally fucked Scatter. And he was like, dude, I already fucked you. I'm sorry. You may as well buckle up.
Like you said, his buddy got all jacked up by the police. What are you gonna do?
You're just gonna let him get hit by a car. As soon as he ran out of the police station, he runs out of the police station and gets hit by a car, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I don't know if you've heard, this soundtrack before watching this movie. I was vaguely familiar, but what I was mostly familiar with from this soundtrack was honestly the song Freddy's Dead.
Oh, really?
Which led me to know what was going on with Freddy, like, from the very beginning. They played it, like, 5 minutes into the movie. Freddy's gonna die. But mostly I know it from the South Park Chef Aid album, which features a song called Kenny's Dead, which absolutely samples that song.
I'm surprised that's the most famous one you know, because, like, Pusherman is, like, the song from that album, and goddamn, does it fucking bump.
At this point in my life, yeah, I know Superfly, I know Pusherman. Pusherman is actually, like, I was listening to that on my own.
Yeah.
That shit slaps.
So right now, it seems like we're kind of jumping all over the place, but we get these, like, purposely extended scenes where, like, a bunch of guys are just kind of, like, hanging out in a bar, and they're just kind of, like, talking. What they need to communicate is so little, but for some reason they get, like, a whole conversation out of it. I don't understand.
Well, they had to get it up to 90 minutes of runtime. They wanted, like, they had the whole day at that strip club. They might as well spend their time there. And they rented the car, which there are a lot of scenes of them that use this car. They had the car all day, so they wanted to get as much in that film as possible.
They could have had a picture of Priest's face that did like the Batman spin, and it's like, to the pimp mobile. Just run to it.
Well, fun fact, guys, this is the pimp mobile. This is where the idea started, or at least got the idea popularized.
I didn't know that.
The original pimp mobile is an old Cadillac Eldorado with some shit bolted to the front of it. I'm sorry, those headlights are fucking gross. All due respect.
Like, to begin with, I was like, what kind of car is this? What? Is this a Rolls Royce? No, it's not. This is a Cadillac, but it looks real fucked up.
But I know it's all a part of the character. The character of Priest, the Superfly man himself, is egregious for a reason. It's all style. It's all surplus. It's all extra. The man dresses in the best suits, the best hats. He has the best car, the best bitches. You brought up earlier, Brady, how much you liked him. He's kind of coming around to me. He's not a superhero, you know, like maybe the super in the title implies, but like he's a man on a mission and he's getting shit done.
I mean, you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet. Because think about this, man. He looks at Freddy and his wife. He goes, Freddy, you going to get my money tonight. Either you working or your wife is.
Ooh. Next time we see him, the guy brings his wife with him to meet Superfly. I'm like, buddy, you just brought your street meat to the fucking market. You're an idiot.
Well, like the first time you see Freddy, I think is like he's supposed to like go out, make some money, Freddy. If anything goes wrong, shoot him and drop the gun because it's untraceable. Like, don't even worry about it. Played by Mr. Charles McGregor. If you don't know, I recognize him from Blazing Saddles.
He's got an absolutely shit performance in this film. I struggled, like absolutely struggled with the 5-minute scene of them in the bar with his wife, where it's just so poorly mic'd and everything is crackling. And about 3 minutes in, when he was like, let me get another one of them joints, and it just sounds like he's eating a bag of Cheetos, I just fucking lost it. Like, there are so many moments of terribleness in the best way, though. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, this is awful, but you're smiling.
I found it charming because, especially with that guy, he was just happy to be in a movie. Like, he could not stop smiling.
Fact.
He was just like, his lines were like, all right, everybody. Oh, my wife's about to get whored out. Oh, no.
I think part of the issue with Freddy or Charles McGregor in this, like, I think he's supposed to be a little bitch. Not Superfly, he's not. He's coming off a little bit, but he's not. Freddy is supposed to be a little bitch that can't make money. Like, that's his whole character.
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that they arrived at this place at night, and they left, and it's the daytime, so I guess now it's a daytime problem.
Oh, shit. I'll tell you, Pabst Blue Ribbon is on the can. I don't know who makes it, but what I've got here today, this is their Daytime Guava, 0.0% alcohol by volume, because this is all a high seltzer. This is a different type of brew from Beards and Brews today, and it tastes like a guava seltzer. Like, it's not like a LaCroix seltzer where it's just like the suggestion of a flavor. There's actual flavor in here. Like, as far as taste goes, it is fine. We will see. I'll give you an update once we're at the end, exactly how I'm feeling, because this is my first time partaking in this type of a brew. I'll let you know.
You know, it ain't always good to get high before you have important things to do.
We're going to jump right into a montage of Priest and his, I guess, enterprise of moving drugs, because now he's working with, I'm just going to call him Mr. Big because he's just the crooked cop guy. And it's a good 5-minute sequence of one of Curtis Mayfield's songs and literal still photography of them doing drugs and selling drugs for 5 minutes.
This montage in this movie is both awesome and infuriating. One, awesome because it's a great idea. It's just so classic, and if this is where it all originated from, Chef's Kiss. It's so good. It's such a great idea. Two, infuriating because this movie's barely fucking 90 minutes. Why didn't you just show me doing the drug stuff? Quit the fucking pictures. Get them out of here. Get your PowerPoint out of here.
Fellas, this is the single longest montage of anything that I've ever seen in a major motion picture in my life. I don't hate it, but it is infuriating. You're dead right. Having the song Pusherman there is a solid move because it gives you like a whole outlet for that song. But man, this montage ran so movies in the 80s could walk more appropriately speeded.
I want to say, like, was it a reason to use Pusherman in full? Sure, I guess, but you have like the actual dude, Curtis Mayfield, showing up in your movies like, damn right, I'm going to play the whole thing while you stare at me awkwardly with your cigar.
Holy fuck. We have Curtis Mayfield performing live for this film, correct? And down in that basement area, the little jazz bar or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can't see shit. It's so fucking dark. Nothing is lit.
This would have been a good scene to cut out for like 15 minutes. It's interesting. It's evocative. It gets the people going or something. I don't know. But to just chop that up into a little montage and then give us the result.
You know what they could have done the montage of instead of the cool drug dealing scenes? Tubby time and karate.
Oh no.
Tubby time. Yeah, you're right.
Just don't say his name because I have to add that sound effect.
Talking about my boy Peach Fuzz. Just gonna grind on the door just like he grinding on his karate partner.
We're getting off topic. What I want to talk about is how much this movie feels like a vintage porno but without the sex, or at least much of it.
There is sex in this movie. In fact, it lasts as long and clumsily as the chase scenes in this movie.
That's fair, yeah. There's like two, and they're nasty, kind of. Like, not in a good way either.
I ain't gonna lie, fast forwarded. As soon as I saw it, and I saw a titty out, and I saw him going in, I went, nah, I don't want to.
Yeah, same. The whole bathtub scene just basically didn't happen.
My issue is he acted like he had never used his mouth on a woman before in any capacity, not on the lips, not on the titties, not anywhere else. He just had no idea how to articulate any parts of his mouth. That was my issue.
You think he's one of those fellas who's just like really successful and like turns out he never even snorted a titty?
He has snorted enough of everything else in this movie.
Everybody's taking bumps of cocaine. It's a plot point. It's just like, you know how like in movies you see just characters just like, you know, just having a snack while they're having a cocaine.
Yeah.
Eric, you've said it a million times on a million casts. Big whoop. Want to do cocaine about it?
They do.
That's the move.
It makes a lot of sense. I guess Superfly just has a lot of ghosts in his blood. He's taking care of it the only way he knows how.
You got to keep them down, though, because if you go too long without doing a little bit of cocaine about it, then the ghosts start to rile up.
Actually, that sounds like an incredible plot point for a sequel, if there ever were one.
This is already starting to kick in a little bit, which leads me to my next point. Fellas, how much does this movie make you want to say the N-word?
1 to 10, fellas. Let's get it out there.
Not in any kind of a disrespectful way or aggressive way. No, they just make it sound so freaking cool. It just sounds cool coming out. You just want to say it just like as an add-on, as an appendix to your sentence, you know? Hey, what's good with you? You know? We just can't say that.
Okay, 8. 8 out of 10. That's mine.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's reasonable.
I'm going to give it a big Hollywood Hulk Hogan brother. I would just brother the fuck out of it.
brother.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me trying to get in the club. Not there yet.
If one thing this movie succeeds in doing, it's making the main character and his posse just look and operate in a cool way. No matter what's happening, they at least have this like, level of respect and everything, just like for what they're wearing, what they're doing. Like everything is just extra. The car, that poor car.
Which, if you all don't know what a 1972 Cadillac Eldorado looks like, I have seen boats smaller. Fuck this thing.
And check out that fuel economy. That's right, one highway, zero city. Let's go.
This thing literally caused the gas shortage in the 70s.
And the whole Neozone.
And how do you think you're going to pay for that? Definitely not with some jive job for chump change. They're going to have to kill me because that ain't enough.
Yep. This is the whole reason Jimmy Carter didn't get reelected.
Damn.
Did you guys enjoy how they snuck in Superfly, by the way? It was in reference to the drug's quality. He does a big bump. He's like, oh man, this shit's Superfly. And I went, oh, he did the thing.
Everybody points at the screen. Yep.
Right. And everybody on screen points at the guy.
Freddie dead over in the road just pointing at the guy. He said it.
You know what? I don't know if it'd be hilarious or ballsy, but like the movie should just remind us that he's dead. It's just like some dry shots of just him in the road. Just like, dude.
I'm on it, bitch.
Yeah, it's just Superfly reminiscing, just like, oh yeah, my buddy's gone.
No, they got to play the same song, but in like a minor key. Freddie's dead. Should we remake Superfly as a white exploitation movie?
Okay, Freddy's played by Tom Green.
Is that cultural appropriation?
No, because we remake it with utmost respect. Everything's better. Everything's the way it should be. Like, there's some really crass editing mistakes in this movie. Charm aside, we'll fix them. But that guy's played by Tom Green, and he doesn't get hit by a car. That man is found fingered.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
The ripping and the tearing, the ripping and tearing.
Speaking of doom, you know who's doomed? Our good friend Scatter, Chef Boyardee. He gets OD'd because the dirty cops, they don't want him to retire, and they want Priest to take over, which blows my mind because they never agreed that he was going to take over. He's just like, I'm trying to get out. I thought this was one of the most clever things that I've seen, especially in one of these Ocean's 11 type moves. He does a fucking switcheroo.
I mean, that's kind of right. Like, I understand, like, the cops, the crooked cops have to, like, have their little system going. So, like, they're just, like, saying, like, hey, just take his place and we won't fuck with you. Like, you know, business as usual, so on and so forth. But I guess, of course, they didn't know his, like, ulterior motive of just, like, skipping town.
He knew that Eddie was going to betray him. He stands by the door just for a moment to make sure he is picking up the phone. Once he hears that Eddie is making the call, gets on the elevator, hands the briefcase off, which he has a duplicate, to his old lady. They swap out. The old lady makes away with the money. He goes outside to get busted, which he knew he would. And then he explains, because he knew he was valuable to the police, that, hey man, don't fucking kill me, because I know all your shit, and I done paid some killers, some white killers, the best killers.
Yep.
And the guy's like, the shit you did, and he goes, well, let's do cocaine about it. Takes a bump and gets all fucking They Live, Roddy Piper, Keith David on him, really bad editing. And then he's like, I whooped your ass, and I'm going to take my money and go, and you ain't going to do shit. And they were like, I guess we won't. The end.
Well, they're like, you ain't got no money. And he's like, bet your ass I do.
You said the editing in that fight was bad. Let me tell you. I saw a punch thrown mid-punch. 10 out of 10.
There was a kick that was so fucking far, like, away from the man. And he's already jumping. And then it edits back to the, I guess, what would be the receiving of the kick that would throw him into the trash cans into the distance. And that kick is already on the ground before he is even trying to jump. It's like, Lord.
Okay, fine. The whole thing could be boiled down to fight in slow motion, but they didn't slow the footage down.
So that's how we end up here. Homeboy gets away with the money, with the girl. He gets out of the business, and the cops are just left there with some dirty draws.
No, the audience is left there with dirty draws, because the camera just pans up to the New York skyline and is like, hey, by the way, time's up. Another quarter, please.
If you would like to see his next movie, I'm a little high.
There is a sequel, like an actual sequel, came out the year after. I'm a little curious because the movie does kind of end. I guess he wins.
Yeah, once, like, they're there to bust him. They're there to arrest him, and he's just like, actually, I spent my money on hiring people to kill you if something were to happen to me, and they just have to believe him and leave him alone. I feel like in real life they would still just like arrest him or something, but I don't know.
Fuck it, he got away. It's only 300,000. We're gonna make plenty more off his buddy, and there will be more to come. He ain't messing with us. Don't nobody but Eddie know about it, and Eddie don't care to talk about it.
I guess you're right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It does feel like one more scene could be added. Get this movie up to a solid 96 minutes or so. And, just show us where he went, what he did after that. Show him down in Cuba or whatever, just hanging out with a cigar hanging out of his mouth, you know? Like, give us something.
And I feel like that would satiate your issue with, like, Superfly being kind of bitchy if he were to kind of, like, land on his feet better than where he was. You know, kind of like that in-bit in one of those Batman movies where he just looks over at Alfred and is like, oh, right, you know, it's fine. He did it.
Yeah, so to me, it just feels like he kind of like, he was a bitch through the whole movie, but he left on top. Maybe if he left a little bit higher on top, I'd be a little bit higher on him as a character.
In my headcanon, the reason that, don't get me wrong, I know why they did it, time constraints. But in my headcanon, it cuts away to show that it doesn't matter where he goes and what he does, because in the end, it's going to be the same. He's not going to be satiated with what he does. Eddie is going to be right. He's only good at two things. And once he gets bored, he's going to go right back to it, just somewhere else.
Man, I want to see that movie. I'm really interested. like, what happens?
How long until we do Superfly 2 then?
No thanks. But it'd be great if we can get some cocaine.
For me, this was a decent crime flick, all right? It's nothing new that we haven't seen at the time. It may have been something new. I don't really know a lot about the 70s films, the genres. It touched on a lot of really cool things, a lot of gritty shit. I personally really enjoyed it. I thought Priest and his wardrobe were fucking 10 out of 10, man. The music, you guys can gush over it all you like. It was okay. Whatever this genre would be called isn't exactly my cup of tea. It is easy to tap my toe to. It just felt like a music video most times, and there was a lot of really smart travel padding that just wore on me. But overall, decent crime flick.
I'm more happy that I just saw it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm happy that I got to see kind of like the genesis of Blaxploitation. I'm pretty familiar with like P.D. Wheatstraw, and of course like satire of like Black Dynamite and stuff like that. There's something special about this movie, even though I pretty much shat on it the entire time. The passion is there. It really is. Like, they really wanted to say something, and they almost said something brilliant.
Yeah, it's always easier to talk about the negatives than the positives, because the positives are what you're expecting. They do have a lot of positives going out through this whole movie. I generally enjoyed it all throughout, and I think the ending is landed perfectly. They just need, give us a little bit extra on the end. Overall, I think the lead actor, Ron O'Neal, does a great job. Soundtrack is incredible. Yeah, it's a solid movie. Recommend.
Well, there you have it. That was Superfly from 1972. If you have any strong feelings about the movie or the show, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons. Be sure to bash that little bell icon down there, too, so you don't ever miss what we have brewing up next.
Get out there and follow us on the social medias. We got lots of it. Instagram, Facebook. You can find us anywhere podcasts are available. Also, we're on that YouTubes. Give us a listen. Sometimes we're funny. And hey, if you don't want to give us a listen, then maybe we'll have to brother you, all right? But I'm not talking brother.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm just going to add an increasingly loud wall of brothers until it shows up here.